Carl and Lou here from Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short. And it's tier list time as we're coming to the third time we're doing this style of tier list, this specific subject. It's round 3 of horror movie posters and covers. Ones that are released on DVD, video, or you saw in your local theatre up on the wall. Those posters. Some of them very, very memorable. Some of them not so much. We've done this twice before. 30 posters in a different tier list. We're doing 30 again here. Just 30 random ones that I found online, checked that we hadn't done already, and was like, cool, let's check this out. For example, when you put in something like bad horror movie posters, right, into Google, what you end up getting is stuff like the House on Haunted Hill. The original cover is, for some reason, considered a bad one. But we put that in our top category at the time. The best, which, I thought was odd as well. But the categories are the best, lovely looking, decent enough, meh, and the worst. So, we're going to get started with the very first poster, beginning with Bride of Chucky. This is the, obviously, direction after Child's Play movies, and the first sort of real difference in the kind of Chucky more amusing aspect than anything else. So what they wanted to do in this poster was sell the introduction of the bride. So they've gone with an old-fashioned look of half and half.
Side by side. Side
by side. Now, what... and it's dark, mostly dark. What I don't understand is why they didn't do it the other way, where it's half, the faces are connected up, and it's half his face and half her face. Instead of what they've done in the poster, which is half on one side, half on the other. Do you know what I mean?
It's more like a nod. I mean, did this come out after Scream?
I don't know when this came out. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're saying like a similarities to Scream,
like the font colour.
Yeah. Okay.
And it feels a bit Scream to me.
Okay.
That's what I'd go with.
Okay. Well, you know, what do you think of it?
It's a bit meh.
Oh, it's not as low as meh, is it? Because I like the detail in the faces. I like the fact that you've got the Chucky with the scar and smashed up face, but then you've got the kind of pretty version of Jennifer Tilly's one.
I'd go decent enough.
Yeah, well, let's put it in the middle. Decent enough as a starting point. Decent enough as a starting point. Frogs. So this is one that's considered a bad one, but I don't know, I kind of like it. So I quite like this movie for its cheesy, nostalgic value more than anything else. Hell, we've done killer everything else. Why not have killer frogs? So for this, they've kind of gone with the most obvious, which is it's a frog, right? With a hand hanging out of its mouth like it's eating a person. What's odd about that, where it falls down, where it's a real problem, is A, it's just a bit ugly looking. There's too much green, and for some reason they went with a yellow font for frogs, and it kind of doesn't work. Red, you idiot. Red was an obvious thing.
No, I like the idea of yellow and green.
Okay, well, my issue with this is scale. So this frog is in a pond. That much is clear by the background. So what is the hand about? Tiny human hand? Do you see what I mean? Like, it doesn't work. Like, if that's supposed to be a giant frog, which is not the case in the movie, then make it look giant. Do you know what I mean? Or,
it's a bit odd,
Or drop the hand and make it blood, like blood coming out of its mouth, like it's eating something like that. So it does really encapsulate the sort of cheesy silliness of it. And of course, the tagline makes me laugh. Today the pond, tomorrow the world. You know, it's very cheesy. Very cheesy.
I want to watch this film now.
Okay, all right. It's pretty boring. It's pretty boring. It's one of those where it's like the frogs are just doing frog stuff, really, and they're not. Oh, is that? That's what it's supposed to be. You know, that kind of silliness. What do you put this one?
It could be better.
Of course, it could be better. That's what I'm saying as well. I think it could be so much better, and it's just not. So I think meh as well for this one. Yeah, I think it doesn't hold up. Okay, Friday the 13th. We've done Friday the 13th in the past, the original cover, but this time I went with one that is different from the series. It's the final chapter. This is the cover, of course, you can see it on the screen right now, of Jason's mask. Alone and in a sort of small pool of blood. It was the last Friday the 13th for a couple of years. Call it the final chapter was absurd, really, considering I think this was the 5th movie in the franchise, when it would obviously go to, as of right now, 10, and the remakes. So you've got that. The problem with this one is, while I really like the simplicity of it, in that it's Jason's mask and a pool of blood, there's so much text, it's overfilled, and it doesn't really tell you much beyond, oh look, it's in blood. And it's like, at this point in the franchise, what does that mean? What does that mean? It doesn't mean fucking anything. I don't know. I don't really get it. it's just all right.
It's just a bit thrown together.
Yeah, it's just a bit. There's nothing special about it. Nothing stand out. For me, it's meh, but above Frogs.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Critters 3, it's the one set in the city, and of course, famously stars a very young Leonardo DiCaprio. Not the best Critters movie by any stretch, but not a terrible film either. I think it's got a lot of entertainment value in it. And, you know, although initially it was intriguing, because I think what the cover does, it sells something that the movie doesn't do. Because you're like, Critters in the city?
Great
awesome.
Fun. Yeah.
And then it all takes place in this one apartment block.
Yeah.
And never actually goes out into the streets.
Kind of like Gremlins 2. That's all in one building.
That's true. Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Again,
great.
it's I figured that a little bit more because that's a huge living building with different
fair enough.
like that. This is just a box that. I mean, this apartment block is run down.
Yeah, it's
like that's it.
apart.
You know, it's so. The cover missells the movie.
Yeah.
But if you didn't know that and you looked at the cover, you'd be like, "Oh my god, that's so cool!" Because it's obviously New York City. I would think that is.
Oh god, it has some.
And then you know he's ripping himself out of the picture, so there's very much what do we call it? Breaking the fourth wall in that front.
Yeah.
You know, tagline "You Are We." I like what it's trying to sell. I think it creates a level of excitement. You know, the critters are front and centre as they should be.
I like it. It's a good placement. I do like the tagline. You are what they eat.
Yeah.
Very silly.
Right.
Tongue in cheek.
I'm happy enough to put this one as lovely enough.
Definitely. Yeah. Lovely looking.
Lovely enough. Yeah, yeah. It's decent enough. Lovely looking. Carrie, the remake. This is the one with Chloe. Grace Moretz, 2009, I want to say. Maybe a bit later than that, actually. Yeah, might have been a bit later.
13, maybe?
All right, anyway, yeah, it's the modern remake of Carrie. A movie I haven't actually seen, but I've heard enough about, and it's been reviewed over on the site by another writer. I don't really care to see it. Not because like I have some issue with Carrie being remade or anything like that.
No.
The original Carrie is a 70s movie, you know, late 70s movie, 79, I think. So there's no harm in having another go at it. When I looked at it, I remember my biggest issue being I don't really buy like someone like Chloe Grace Moretz as the Carrie thing, you know. And it's not slow in her acting abilities or anything like that. She's a good actor, but it's more like Sissy Spacek looks and made part, you know, the bullying. You've got to be unattractive and stuff like that. I know it sounds a bit silly because you can read, you know, pretty girls are bullied as well, and you can tie that into a good story. But when you've already lost me there, I'm like, how can I get into it? And I'm going to struggle for a while and so on. I will eventually probably get around to seeing it, but for now, it's like it just hasn't come around. The cover, it's trying to sell you exactly what it knows you're here for. Chances are you watching the Carrie remake, like I probably eventually will, just because I want to see how they do the end sequence more than anything else. And this cover sells that. It's full on her face with the blood dripping down it. I think it's a terrible picture. I think it's a terrible poster. And there's one particular reason why. You will know her name. Yeah. Like written down it, like covering everything. Yeah, the blood doesn't look great either. It's clearly fake picture. Yeah. But you will know her name written straight down the bottom. It's like, the fuck does it even mean?
Of course, everyone knows her name.
Like, I don't get what that means. Like, it's in the title as well. It's called Carrie. Yeah. Like, what do you mean you will know her name? Was that an important aspect of the story? Yeah. Like, I don't get what they're trying to do there. So, yeah, I don't really like it. Yeah, I'd say the worst.
The worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could have so much fun with that, made it more interesting.
I just don't really get what they're going for with it. Jason X, another Friday the 13th one. This is, of course, the last of the original Jason films. This is the one set in space. They've gone for a very old-school slasher look picture of this, but they've basically divided the poster up. So you've got the knife going up the centre, and then on one side you've got how Jason looked pre, and then post how Jason looks in the movie once he's become this sort of futuristic monster with Jason X, and the X is all glowy because space and stuff like that. It's very, very cheap looking.
DVD bin.
Yeah, that's what this looks like. It's very, very cheap looking. Yes. You know, the reflection of the knife with her screaming in it. It's very slasher-like, and I do like that aspect of it. But fuck me, all I keep looking at and going is when I was a kid in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, had I seen this on a VHS front, I'd have stopped. I'd have been like, ooh, you know? Whereas now I'm like, God, that just looks crap. You know, really that's like it. But I kind of like it. I like elements of it. I like the starry sky in the background. I like the fact that they're hinting and showing you this different look of Jason in the picture. I like the fact that they're saying to you, it is a slasher movie. Don't worry, we are slashing still nonetheless. Do you know what the thing I hate the most about it, though?
The font colour.
No. I can live with that. The knife just looks odd. The way it's curved, it just looks weird. It doesn't look like a knife. It looks like a cartoon knife.
You have to look at first because you think it could be something else.
Yeah.
Split into two of them. So yeah, it's just not for me. It's not a great one.
Where would you put it? Because I'd put this one in.
Meh.
Yeah, meh's fine. Above or below?
Above Frogs.
Above Frogs, but after the other Friday the 13th one.
Definitely.
All right, I'll go with that.
That's
I'm fine with that.
to it.
I'm fine with that. Hellraiser 2, or better known as Hellbound Hellraiser 2. So, finding a different Hellraiser cover for the one we already covered, which is the original, was hard because a lot of them tend to reuse that imagery. And then for like Hellraiser 3, of course, famously, its cover is just the same image of Pinhead taken from the first, but instead it's the city superimposed over it, which is... Well, I don't think I added it to this list. When we get to that, it's already in the worst for that reason alone. Yeah. This is a very similar vibe. However, I fucking adore this. And I adore this because of this reason, because of the sequel elements of it. So you could say, well, okay, it's Pinhead Center again, right? Yeah. There's a big difference in this. What they've done around him. So what they want to do is they want to sell you the term Hellbound. So the background is no longer what it was in the first, and now it's this ominous... hallway almost thing, which you've seen in the movie makes a lot of sense. The hellish location. And then of course you've got below that, in very complete almost darkness, the image of a girl opening up the box, and that's creating the Hellbound thing. I love that. That is the symmetry of the light as it creates into that. I love it. I fucking love it.
Do you know what ruins it for me?
Go on.
Where the placement of the word again.
Really?
Yeah. It would tear your soul apart. Again.
I really like that because it's above and below, and but it's still, if you put them in line, the dot 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 again would follow exactly in line, but they put it at the bottom instead. I really like that. Okay.
I have it on the same line or underneath.
Okay. Another thing I really like is the difference in his face as well. Whereas the first one, he's kind of snarling in the front cover. Here, he's very stock, very looking straightforward. There's a lot more shadow work done with his face.
He's more chilled.
More chilled. I think he looks more intense. More intense. Where would you put this one?
I'd put decent enough.
Whoa!
That again thing really...
See, I was leaning towards the best.
I want to have a tagline on it.
I was leaning towards the best.
Okay.
So obviously the middle ground is lovely looking.
Yeah.
But I want to put above Critters 3.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
We'll compromise.
All right.
I feel that tagline cheapens it. It's quite a nice image about that. If you take that tagline off, much better.
Do you agree with me? I think it's fine. I think it looks good. Girl on the Third Floor. We've gone for a more modern one here. This is a horror movie. It kind of got a little well known because it happened to star one Phil CM Punk Brooks in his first sort of horror movie debut. I believe it was his horror movie debut film. I've seen it, read it on the site. I quite enjoyed a lot of elements of it and things like that. It's ultimately a psychological horror film to do with ghostly goings on, but also to do with the weakness of a man as well and things like that. So I think it's an enjoyable enough film. Here's the cover, if you've never seen it. And I like a lot of this. Yeah. Now, I will say it's text heavy.
Yes.
Touch down on that. But what I particularly like is ultimately, it reminds me almost like the Cabin in the Woods symmetry.
Yeah.
So you've got this house above, and then like the lower half of it is, I guess, a heart, like lower part of a heartbeat and stuff like that. The red is darker at the bottom and kind of gets lighter in the middle, then gets dark again at the top, really like that. But there's little small details. You know, on the porch of this house, you've got a man. On the window above the third floor, you've got the light on and a woman. That shit I really like. We use those shadows really nicely as well. And of course, the house does play a prominent part in it, as does the heart as well. These are really cool shit. I like this.
I really like it. I like the font. It's nice. It's just doesn't give away too much from what this is.
Yep.
So yeah, I really like it.
Where are you putting it then?
I'll put lovely looking.
Top of lovely looking, yeah. Well, as we both really like it, it's probably fairer that it goes there. Yep, agreed. Jigsaw. So this is one of the latest Saw movie ones. This was the one that reintroduced the series after that long layoff after Saw 6 or 7, whichever one was the final one. Yeah. And then Jigsaw brought it back. Everyone thought, oh my god, how is he back and all that? Spoilers, it turns out a lot of the events in that film happened before, and it's more flashback than anything else. The cover was very straightforward. And I will give them props for that. They went with the two major selling points, which is your man himself, Tobin Bell. Yeah, but also he's in like the makeup of Billy the Puppet. But also that it's kind of like dried and desiccated, which is a really cool touch. I like the look, the way he's gone and looking at us as well, like over his shoulder. That's good, the eyes. The font of Jigsaw, I really like it because it's new. but it's also harking back to the original with the W.
Yeah.
Which is really good.
Really cleverly done.
And even a small tagline of the game continues.
Yeah.
I gotta say, even though I think this movie is fucking one of the worst, and I hated it, the poster's brilliant. Really brilliant.
Top of lovely looking.
I'm happy enough for it going to best.
Okay.
Like, think about what we've just said. Well, let's put, what's a negative? What's a negative that you can see over that poster? Bear in mind as well bear in mind the movie it was trying to sell.
Yeah, no, I can't see it all in that point then.
Nope.
No, okay, love the best then.
Yeah, I think it's a. Cool. I see no reason why we can't put it in the best. Just because the only reason I'd lower it is because of my feelings on the movie.
Yeah.
And that's not fair. We're not judging the movie. We're judging the poster and how it fitted into it. It Chapter 1. So this is the poster used for Chapter 1. I'm doing Chapter 1 separate.
Yeah.
It Chapter 2 because a lot of people just list this one as It. But this was the poster they released to hype up It Chapter 1, which of course is the remake of the Stephen King TV movie adaptation.
Yeah.
I'm going to be straight up. Fucking love it. It is the best because this is simplicity, but also telling you everything you need to know. Yeah. While also saying you will understand if you've seen it, but we're not giving you anything away. Of course, it is completely dark. Yeah. You have the arm reaching out, holding the balloon. You've got the yellow jacket, which is obviously super duper important to the film, of the kid looking up. And then perfectly symmetrical in between them is the word It. Yeah. You'll float too.
Yeah. You can't beat it, can you?
I just don't, it's near perfect. You know, you've even got the part at the bottom, you've got a little bit like what makes it look like an alleyway almost to a certain degree as well. It's very sinister. Yeah. It's very, very dark. I can't really see. I can't fault that.
It's not ruined with like extra text.
Nope.
Or anything like that.
You're not really giving anything away in it. The shot it's showing is referencing obviously the opening scene part of it, which is such an important part. I think it's great. I think it's the best. Yeah. I think it can go top.
Definitely. Yeah. Good call with that one.
Oh God. This is One Missed Call, a remake of a J-horror movie. This is often cited as one of the worst covers out there, and for good reason. I've looked at putting this one in other ones we've done, and I finally thought, fuck it, stick it in this. Now, I've seen One Missed Call, the J-horror version, never this remake, so I've got no film to contrast that on. And I don't think you've seen these, have you?
No.
So I think that's really important, because the idea is, what do you take away from this poster having not seen this movie? That might be the dumbest, stupidest, ugliest looking thing I've ever seen. What the fuck is that?
It took me a while to work out their faces on the eyes. I didn't realise it at first. I was like...
Does that scare you?
No, it looks stupid.
It looks stupid.
From a distance, more like a Pan's Labyrinth type of creature than... Doesn't look like to anything. But you have that phone in there. That's the only thing that's... I just think it looks so stupid. There's nothing scary about that. It's laughable. Oh, he's got a phone up. You know, it's also reminiscent of how many posters did the same boring ass shit on it. You know, it's just. I think it looks so stupid. Like, it's just, you look at that and you go, ha, what's that? Like, it doesn't make you go, oh my God, that's terrifying. Yeah.
I must see what these monsters are.
You could have done that so much better. I don't know what kind of monsters are in One Missed Call. What kind of...
Well, look, what I don't understand is, like, as you say, like, the eyes, right, are supposed to be faces. So, like, but you've got to really look at it and go, oh, it's an open mouth with a nose. Why?
I know. No, it is pretty poor.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
I reckon the bottom, below Carrie.
Yeah.
I think it's worse. I think it's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. Red Dragon. So Red Dragon's poster wanted to do one thing specifically. Tell you, this is a Hannibal Lecter movie.
Yeah.
Which, you know, is arguable. He's a major point of it. But, you know, also, once again, similar to Silence of the Lambs, he's not your main villain. Focus on, you know, others. However, to be fair, unlike Silence of the Lambs, he does have a more prominent story in this, and it's quite a bit more interesting as well.
I've seen other posters where it's...
There are other posters, that's the thing.
Ray Fiennes' tattoo.
There are several. Yeah. Often with movies, there are several. But... we're taking ones and using these ones. Yeah. This is a common one. This, I believe, is the DVD cover as well.
Oh, okay.
You get these special edition covers that are wildly different and things like that. So, but we can't cover every single version of them. But yeah, so half this poster is Anthony Hopkins' face. Yeah. It's Hannibal Lecter's face. All right, they've done some good work with the shadow, and they made him give a nice little sinister look. Yep. Then you've got 1/3 kind of squint to see him. Oh, it's Edward Norton. Yeah. You know, like I said, walking down, I can't work it out unless I get close to it.
Yeah, no.
What is that?
Looks like prison himself from here.
And then there's nothing else except text. Quiet. In fact, the actual villain is not even on this poster. I think this is meh.
Yeah.
I think...
Definitely.
I don't get what you're trying to get across here, other than Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
He's your man. He's what it's all about. And it's like, why is it so poorly done?
There must have been better ways of putting all the elements in. Must have been.
I just feel like maybe, if you consider the movie, you could argue it's two halves. Maybe one half is Anthony Hopkins, the other is Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah.
Not Edward Norton's character.
I would have had the painting of the Red Dragon. That
yeah.
doesn't show a tattoo or a bad guy or anything.
Yep.
But, because that image is pretty... I mean, unless you didn't want the surprise of... Oh, it's a difficult one, but...
No, I just don't like this one. I think this is meh.
Yeah.
So the question is, better than Frogs?
Slightly.
Oh, I was going to put it after. Alright, we'll put it ahead, but not ahead of Jason X, because I like Jason X. Poltergeist Remake. Now, we've ranked and put the original Poltergeist in another list and call it one of the finest posters ever. For the simplicity of just all black, the TV, the symmetry of it, which is something we love on posters. And then we get to this wank. Yeah. This absolutely, what the fuck were you even thinking? And it's so embarrassing that the whole focus of this poster is an element that they were like, oh, well, people really were scared of that in the original movie. Our attempt to do the exact same thing in the remake will not be scary, because the difference was this. The clown in the original, while sinister looking, was still clearly a clown toy. This was, it's a scary clown already. It's just dumb shit. This part of the movie sucks. I really don't like the remake anyway. It's got things that are good. I do think that's important, but it makes way too many mistakes and was one of those remakes we just didn't need, because the original fucking holds up fine. This poster is literally the entire clan going, I'm a scary clown.
It also looks
fucking shit.
It also looks like, when people get their photo taken when they get arrested.
Yeah, what's with that? Yeah, like you can just make it out. I don't like this. I mean, I don't like this. You can see the fact that this was their selling point, and instead of going, imagine just the simplicity. Imagine the simplicity of this. All black, but hands pushing out. Yeah. Which is a thing in the movie. Yeah. Right? Poltergeist.
I know.
Or even a wall.
Or the bedroom window. Like on the trees, like the iconic window with like the trees behind it.
Maybe, yeah.
Of the clown.
Maybe like a sketch drawing as well in that style. For me, this is the worst.
No, definitely.
But better than One Missed Call, because One Missed Call is just so bad.
Yeah. At least he's got some sort of reference to something that's
in the film. What about Carrie? They're both on par with each other in regards to the faces.
But they tried to stylise Carrie.
Right, let's put it in the middle then.
Give you a hint of what.
Yeah, let's put it in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
It's the Leprechaun cover, the original Leprechaun movie. This has had a couple of covers, but the most prominent one that comes up now is because, of course, they're like, oh yeah, it was Jennifer Aniston's debut film. So now we want to make sure she's a prominent feature in that cover. Yeah. And that's what this cover now is. She takes up most of it. I really don't like this cover. Even though I like these movies, I don't like this cover, because what keeps puzzling me is if just on first glance about studying, it looks like she's backstage at a show and the Leprechaun is poking his head through the curtain saying, Jennifer, you're on!
Yeah, it is pretty... It's
really, really bad.
It's DVD bin again, isn't it?
It really is. Her luck just run out as well. Like, she was apparently Memphis, but she's one of several characters. It's not him against her specifically. She's one of several characters. I just don't... Yeah, I just think it's shit. Yeah. It's just that. It's a shit cover. Yeah. I'm looking at it going, well, they did Leprechaun in green, but why is she kind of green?
Yeah.
So, the worst. Yeah. It is another one for the worst.
Definitely.
How low?
I think it's the worst.
What, below One Missed Call?
Yeah. Well, above, you want to go?
I'd want to go... I'd go one above, because One Missed Call is so hilariously bad looking.
Yeah, alright.
Thing is, Leprechaun is a bad movie in that sense, so at least the cover fits. Scream. The original Scream.
Maybe I was wrong then. Maybe it was a later Scream that had...
There are other covers of Scream, including later ones as well, but this is the one that people... that's predominantly done for it.
See, I was right, though. If you look at that and look at Brother Chucky, it's definitely tones of it.
So, I'm going to say it straight, I don't like this cover. I get it, and I guess I can be pleased with the simplicity of basically a Scream, but it's not. To me, she's gasping.
But I don't want to show Ghostface at this point.
Well, why not, though? His was in all the marketing anyway. Why not just keep his face front and centre? Yeah. You know, it'd be really cool. Consider her face up close, have it in her irises.
Yeah.
The face in her irises, like as if she's looking at him.
Yeah.
But to be honest, to me, she just looks like she's gasping.
Stop gasping.
Whereas, even like, we can do a Scream, have her going... You know, like that kind of thing. It's just, I just don't think it's very good.
No.
I guess I could like the way Scream is perfectly placed, the letters and the M is a sharpened point. But yeah, for me it's meh.
Top of meh though for me.
Okay, I'll go with top of meh. Yeah, just not really rate. I think there are better covers in later sequels. Sinister. Okay, so I think Sinister's an alright movie.
Yeah.
Nothing special.
There are bits that are
But there are bits that are good. It's very
creepy.
slow. And it's I like the ending. I like its dark ending more than anything else. And I think the cover kind of reflects that. It kind of reflects my feeling on the movies where I'm like, yeah, okay, I don't mind that. And it's nothing to write home about, but I also think it's pretty cool. So ultimately, it's like supposed to almost be like a house, a decaying house, just decaying. Like you've got a young child sort of walking along and wiping blood, which creates the picture of Belial? Is it? No, Belial's from Basket Case. What is it?
It's Belial.
Is it Belial? No, Belial's from Basket Case.
It's a beast.
It's something
demon.
like that. Yeah, it's a demon and it's his face. I like the simplicity of that. I like the way Sinister's written in it. I'm okay with this one.
Yeah, because again, like the girl on the front, it's not like face on. So again, like there's no eye contact.
Yeah, there's no association with that character in the movie as well.
Yeah, and what you know is like this thing kind of possesses you, so she could be possessed, but you're not to know that until you watch the film.
Yeah.
And it does much. I say that it is dark and grim and grimy looking. I really like it.
Well, I was going to go a top of decent enough.
I was going to go lovely looking. I think it's really good.
Okay, where are you going to go lovely looking then? We got Critters 3.
The bottom of lovely looking.
All right, fine with that.
That's a trade-off.
Yeah, fine with that. Yeah, we'll do that. One of the worst horror movies I ever saw. It's Smiley. I chose this one because these covers make me laugh. These covers are 10 a penny. The villain at the top and all the characters lined up at the bottom. It's your Final Destination poster. Yeah. It's exactly that. Smiley, Evil Wears a Smile in it. It is fucking dumb looking. That, again, similar to One Must Call, does that evoke fear or does that just evoke laughter? Because they're like, oh, that's really scary because his eyes and mouth are tied up. And all I'm like, how does he see where he's going?
Stupid.
Bunch of bland characters along the bottom because they're, you know, and in that perfect as well, like lineup where they've do the person that's front and they're all sort of standing like that. It's just,
it's really bad.
It's just, we've seen this cover a bazillion fucking times. I don't like it. No. It's not the worst, but it's certainly meh. Yeah. Bottom of meh.
Yeah, definitely.
But after Frogs, because at least Frogs is interesting looking. Nope.
Good. Don't top.
Sorority Babes in the Slime Ball Bowl-O-Rama. An 80s classic, as it were. Very, very cheesy 80s. I'm a big fan of this movie. It's a Linnea Quigley classic, of course. And I feel the cover reflects that. I think this cover reflects that wonderfully. It, of course, takes place in a bowling alley. A bowl-O-Rama. Very, very cheesy. Very, very synthy. Very, very over-the-top hairs. Lots of nudity, sex, violence. It's all about... what do they call him? Not Gremlin. He's got a name. Fuck, he talks. He's a smart-ass talking guy as well. But they unleash him like he's a genie kind of thing, and he grants wishes, but his wishes turn bad and nasty and stuff like that. It's quite a lot of fun. Movie that says Claw there. I like the background. I like it. I feel it sells the sort of 80s vibe. But there was one thing. I think it looks more like a book cover.
Yeah, and now I feel like the top font looks more like a 90s thing to me. I would have gone for...
It might be a 90s cover, that's why.
I would have gone maybe for that in red or something, or different colour.
Okay.
I don't know. There's something about the top and the bottom don't really match for me.
Okay.
So...
Alright.
The bottom looks more 80s, top looks more 90s.
I'm leaning to decent enough.
Yeah.
Bob Ryder Chucky. Yeah?
Yeah.
Just because at least it's more unique looking.
Yeah.
The ABCs of Death. Now, I found this cover fascinating. The reason why I chose this one, because I've not seen this movie, but I thought, oh, that's really cool. And then I kept finding other versions of this.
Oh, really?
And almost all versions of this exclude a baby.
Oh.
And I thought that was fascinating. Why is one including the baby and one not? What would you prefer? Take the baby out of it?
Yeah.
Because then it's just the creature reading the book.
Yeah.
You leave the baby in. It's called the ABCs of Death. It's like Death is reading a storybook to a child, the ABCs.
Yeah, I would have maybe made the baby lists obviously photoshopped and plonked in. See what I mean? The paint is too bright.
Yeah, but then what are you going to do? We're going to cut its head off? No, I'm fine with that. It's a very...
Dull the skin a bit so it doesn't stand out as much.
Oh, I don't dull the skin a bit. Listen to you, man. I don't. I'm fine with it. I think it gets across to kind of almost... What, to me, and I guess maybe if I've seen a movie I understand more, I'm like, okay, is it a bit silly? Is it a little bit like cheesy? Is it a bit like over the top? Is it a bit creep show like?
If it was cheesy, I would have made the skeleton more cheesy.
Well, no, not cheesy in that sense. Creep show like.
Yeah, but the crypt
creep show is not cheesy. Creep show is done like a comic book.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. This is more comic book. You know, Death reading the ABCs and reading these stories to the kid, like that sort of thing. I think that's kind of cool. I also think the design of Death is really cool. The other thing, the wings are...
It doesn't look like a statue, which is quite cool.
Yeah, that is true. I don't like the wings, though. I think the wings should have been removed because they almost don't seem right because they're quite small. They've tried to fit them in.
Yeah.
So they almost seem like they're really far away in perspective-wise. For me,
meh.
Decent enough.
I'll go meh.
Bottom of decent enough.
Yeah.
Come on, bottom of decent enough, yeah?
Oh my god.
So this is a good fun choice because it's one of these super cheap movies. This is Terror at Blood Fart Lake. Yes, this movie exists. Yes, it is incredibly no budget. Not even low budget. It's no budget. It's offensive. It's disgusting. It's terrible. It's as simple as that. Yeah. So I chose the cover because it's simply as bad as that. It really is as bad as that. It's cheaply thrown together. Yep. The font, it's everything. It's everything someone who doesn't really know how to use Photoshop could put together. This stupid ass face, the random woman just jammed on the front.
Yeah, she wasn't impressed either. So.
Yeah, it's a terrible cover, and that made me laugh. So I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to put it in." The worst.
Yeah.
Bottom of the worst.
Definitely.
Yeah, give one must call a little bit for the professionalism that comes with it. The Brain Eaters. An old school movie here, old school classic, and I've gone for the old school poster for it as well. It is that classic style where you kind of get a lot of detail in it, but it's a lot of fun to look at.
Yeah.
That's what these posters are often meant to be. You almost stand and study them, and imagine them being big in a movie theatre, picture house, and you're going to stand there like the house in Haunted Hill and you're studying, you're noticing all these little elements here. There's not so much in that front, but there's a lot of little detail from the font, the text and stuff like that, to like, okay, is it vampiric? There's the whole thing with the brain and the light coming through it. You've got people running from there, so it's not specifically about zombies, it's about infection in the brain actually more than anything else.
I think it's really good.
I think it's really cool as well. I also like the way they've kind of fucked with your mind, which is the font. So the, lowercase, then you get a capital B, lowercase R-A-I, but then you capital N. And you do the same with capital E and then keep it small. It almost makes you go, huh?
I like the yellow as well.
So I'm a big fan of this. I'm happy enough to put this in lovely looking.
Definitely.
Okay. Above or below Sinister?
I still say below.
Okay.
I think I really like about Sinister's one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
Ooh.
And it's one of the big ones. Couldn't believe we didn't actually cover this previously, but there it is. It's the Exorcist cover. Probably the most famous cover of it more than anything else. This is, of course, the priest standing outside the house looking up at the window with the light, giving him the silhouette. It's an iconic cover, I think. It's iconic.
It says nothing about what horror he's about to find. Like, nothing at all. There's not even a glimpse of it.
But you also get so much from it because that light pouring from that window
it's not human.
It's not normal. Light. That's not exactly that. It almost seems to be framing him like it was expecting him more than anything else. It sells the mystery of the movie really, really nice. And I also love the fact as well that what they did is while the house is predominantly in shadows, is the foreground. They've made sure this house looks like suburbia. It looks like a house that you live in. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's that aspect. It's amazing.
When I first saw it, I thought that I think it's like a plant pot to the left of him.
Yep.
Is a woman. If you look, the silhouette. You know, the plant. It's like a. It's
I see it.
Like the
I'm not seeing a woman.
It's the head.
That's just a plant pot. There's one on each side.
Yeah, but the one on the left, it's got more of a shape to it, so I thought it was a person.
Oh, but it's not. It's just plant pots. Okay, I thought you were trying to say it was a woman.
No,
I was about to say, like, what?
I said when I first saw it, I used to think that was a woman standing there as well.
So what are we putting this? Best?
Oh, yeah.
However, not top. I think it stays top.
Okay.
Don't let your feelings on the movie.
More than Jigsaw.
Yeah, one above Jigsaw.
I also like the choice of purple for the font.
Okay.
Not probably used in horror, I feel.
Fair enough, okay.
Makes it stand out even more.
I just think it was perfect for what they were trying to sell. Yeah, and I think it's like, don't get lost on the fact that the Exorcist, how you feel about the movie. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is a better cover. It really is. The Killer Eye, very, very cheesy, silly movie from Full Moon Pictures, a wonderful production company out there. This is one of their many movies. It's The Killer Eye. It is exactly what it says it is. It's a killer eye. It's very cheesy looking. It's very cheap looking. It's very comic book, which ties into the sort of themes in the movie as well. I like it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be cheesy.
Yeah, I like it. It's exactly that. Like, it's the cheesiness of having a woman lying down and back while the eye is front and centre. And they've made the eye look very comic book style. Yeah. They've just got like city and silhouette, and even like the font of the Killer Eye.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of this.
It's not trying to just convince you it's something it's not.
No.
Straight out the bat. Oh, okay, this is what we are.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. I think this belongs in lovely looking, but bottom.
Yeah.
Because, can't be putting it too high. The Horde. This is the French zombie film, The Horde. Yeah. La Horde. It's a movie we only watched actually quite recently in the last year after hearing about it for some while. It's a very, very cool horror movie. Yeah. Maybe not as good as some people say it is, but it is very, very enjoyable. We've got some great, great moments in it. And the cover that kind of tends to go with it is an iconic scene from the movie. And through that, I really like it because you put the three main characters, who are the three main characters in it, and you see that as zombies. And you see it's a big gun battle. However, I'm not that big of a fan of taking a scene from the movie and jamming it in the cover. Yeah. I think you can do better.
Yeah, it looks too cut and paste to me. Yeah. I would have taken out them three middle people. Or maybe had them in shadow somewhere else. Maybe that as a silhouette. And just all the hands.
Maybe.
The Horde. Explain. Yeah, that's what we've got. And not had a cut and paste image from the film, but they're all looking different directions and different angles. Don't like it.
I wouldn't go as far to say I don't like it because I think you really get across what it wants to be, and I really like the way they've done the Horde. The The's positioning in the H is really cool. But you are right. It's nothing to write home about. The movie's better than the poster. So for me, meh. Yeah. Okay, we got Scream at the top.
Scream's still better for me. I'd say just below Jason X.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'm looking at that and thinking, is it better than Red Dragon? But yeah, Truth Be Told, yeah. The Nest, one of the coolest cockroach horror movies out there. I love this poster. It's really, really cool. It's very, very silly, but it's also very, very uncomfortable because ultimately this movie has some great fucking practical effects. I urge you, if you've never seen The Nest, go check it out. Be prepared to not feel very, very nice inside. It's one of those that even I struggle with elements. Good God. Yeah. Of course, cockroaches, genetically modified cockroaches, and the cover wants to sell that to you. So we have a woman in state of undress because, horror, being attacked by a big old cockroach, and a very big one. But they framed them in this kind of blue light, which is really cool, and The Nest with that kind of broken up red jagged writing. Yeah. I really like it.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's framed nice with a white border.
Yeah.
Not much else going on apart from the image.
Yeah, I think it tells you exactly, and like if you're a fan of these kind of creature, mutant monsters, mutant insect stuff, you're like, this is telling me, and it's The Nest, and you're like, it's gonna be about that. Yeah, lovely looking.
Yeah, definitely.
Top is go. Let's start from the top outwards. Go on the third floor.
I think it's better than Hellraiser. For simplicity.
No, I can't do that. Okay. No, after Hellraiser above Critters.
Fine. Yeah. Yep.
No, Hellraiser's, because of the development and what they wanted to show in the sequel, has to stay there. Yeah. The People Under the Stairs. A fun movie, a Wes Craven classic as well. Got some really cool shit in there and some excellent themes. This is a cool poster. It's also very reminiscent of a style that often would come at that time. So, where it was often a lot of stuff on the picture, but it was still kept quite simple. So half of it, almost 3/4 of it, is just sky. But it's supposed to be a stormy, choppy sky. Yeah. And obviously you have the skull, which is very coolly superimposed in it. Yeah, which I think really works. Then you have the lower half, which is the row of houses. It's ones that when you almost want to zoom in on, and the detail to see the windows, because one of those houses in the middle, which frames the skull, is lit up, which is the house this movie takes place in. And then obviously the lower third is all darkness with your credits, and Wes Craven's The People Under the Stairs. Yes. And again, to keep it really neat and tidy, they've done third down, so it follows along. In symmetrical. Really nice, the people who do this shit are amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like that. I'm a big fan of this. I love things like this. Like this is VHS cover stuff.
Yeah, I really.
And I love that.
Yeah, it's good as a poster. I'm thinking of it as if you had it on your wall. That's how I categorise it as well. If you had it on your wall.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, absolutely. Have you seen this movie?
No.
No. Oh, you don't know about Mummy then. All right.
Oh, no. Oh,
Where we putting it? Lovely looking?
Yeah.
But it's going to need a top right. Considering the other house one, the girl on the third floor, is it better or worse than that?
I think Girl on the Third Floor is better.
All right, after it then.
Yeah.
I'll move Hellraiser down one, keep the two houses together.
Mm-hmm.
The Unborn.
No.
I thought this movie sucked when it came out. I think this one was 2009. Came out with a bit of fanfare because it starred Gary Oldman, and obviously Gary Oldman's name brings a certain value to it.
Yeah.
But this is your bog standard paranormal. Oh, I had a dead brother baby, and now he's come back to haunt me and all that. And fuck the poster for doing this thing of just like, good God, it's like, all right, well, she's going to be the main prominent part of it. But we've got to make sure we got to get your ass in there.
Yeah.
Got to get your ass in there. See, they're going to be wearing underpants. They're going to be tight underpants. We're going to get your ass. And you know what's fucking fake? It's all fucking airbrushed and shit like that as well and stuff like that. Aside from that being an element, what the fuck does that tell you?
Nothing.
What is that?
Yeah.
Like, there's a crack in the mirror. You can kind of see half her face.
That's it. Yeah. No,
What?
It's awful.
Yeah, for me, it's the worst.
Definitely.
Like, it's just so bad.
Yeah.
It's up there as the worst. Carrie, worse?
No, it's worse than Carrie.
Yep. Worse than Poltergeist?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Worse than Leprechaun, yes.
Yeah. Top. I'd say top the worst.
Top, so above Carrie. You mean bottom?
Yeah, like bottom of the bottom.
Worse than Terror at Blood Fight Lake. You know what it is? You know why? Because it's so... Because of the fact that it's doing a whole, let's get her ass. It's like those pictures where, you know, like, it's a superhero or whatever, or person, it's the woman, she's standing there, but like that.
Yeah.
But her body twisted, so her ass is there as well. It's like, grow up, you fucking children. Grow up. The Witch. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Again, simplicity is super important here, and this is all about darkness, but framed perfectly as a, well, what is a naked woman, but the silhouette of a naked woman walking out into trees, full moon. The thing about The Witch is it is selling that aspect of that movie as well. The more, you know, like, go and dance around culture and stuff, that sort of thing. And I think that's really comes across strongly there. The sort of naturistic part of Witch's behaviour. I think it's got a sinister vibe to it.
Yeah.
And obviously the way they do the Witch with the Vitch more than anything else, which is the VV.
Yeah.
Obviously still spells out W, but the VV Vitch. I think it's a cool touch as well.
Yeah.
I like it.
It looks nice as a picture.
It
Like,
is. It is. It is.
A horror poster. Take the witch part. It's a nice image.
Yeah, I just like the framing. Like it's almost like we're peeping in,
and
and
the
that's
3D
kind of
effect
cool.
is nice because like you do get the layers of like branches and then the moon in the background.
Yeah.
I think it's a really nice image.
I think it is well. I'm happy to put this one lovely looking.
Yeah,
All
definitely.
right, let's work downwards then. Girl on the third floor or people on the stairs?
It's better than the nest. I'd go for. That's where I'm looking.
All right, yeah. As long as it's not above Hellraiser.
No, that's what I mean.
All right, two left.
Yeah.
Wrong Turn. The original Wrong Turn cover. So 2003.
It looks very 2003.
And it really, really does. And I think it gets a little bit of a leeway on that. However, it ain't great. Because one thing that baffles me is the biggest character on it is not the main character. Also, that monster face, which one is that? Because I don't really, I know Wrong Turn well, and I don't really recognise the way they've done an image of which of the mutants that is. It does not work for me. No. It doesn't. I like, and then like you're saying, you've got two smaller characters in the sort of left-hand corner, and you're like, you have filled up this fucking poster with characters. Yeah. Well, I'm like, and it's like, oh, that's some trees in between. Yeah. And it's like, all right, so the shadow leaves because that's from a scene in the movie where she's hiding in a tree.
Yeah.
It ain't good. No, it ain't good.
Very, very hodgepodge put together.
Their sequels would you play around with this sort of poster, but do them a lot better. For me, meh, because not the worst, but bottom of meh.
Bottom of meh. I mean, it's some sort of styling with the top right.
It's better than Smiley, so it's not bottom.
Yeah.
Better than Frogs?
Yeah.
All right. Better than Red Dragon?
No.
There we go then. And for funsies, I chose this one on purpose. The 2021 remake of Wrong Turn. Now, I will praise this poster. One thing it did straight away was tell me it was not the same movie.
Yeah.
That intrigued me alone. This is a very well done poster, in my opinion. It gets across the sense of the thick forest, thanks to the tree's positioning. It gets across the green. It comes with nature and aspects like that. But also green can often sometimes be associated with eeriness and, you know, that kind of feel of stuff as well. And then, of course, you've got this character that blends almost into the tree. And the only thing that stops them blending in is the axe and the antlers. And that obviously quite important to the movie as well. The simplicity of Wrong Turn at the top and The Land is Their Land. I think it's a really strong cover.
I like it as well because, like, the way he's standing is like, it could be, well, we know it could be monsters, it could be human.
But he's also standing us in ways suggesting he's looking at us.
Yeah. Yeah, that adds a little bit of creep factor.
Yeah. I'm happy enough for this one to go, ooh, is it a best? It's pretty fucking good.
It is good.
Bottom of the best off the Jigsaw?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's stick Wrong Turns Remake up there. So yeah, different little set of posters. It's quite fun coming up with these, you know.
New ones, new ideas, yeah.
Because of course, when we're going to keep doing this is probably going to end up with like 30 parts to it because there are so many posters out there. Yeah. And we will return to other franchises who have other versions of posters. Because remember, obviously, you've got your theatrical release posters, you've got your DVDs, your Blu-rays, your video VHS. There are so many different variations, particularly when it comes to the classics. I think it'd be quite interesting to see variations on those and all that. Yeah. But this one, there were less for the best this time, more for the worst. What do you think? Do you agree with some of our positioning here? You know what to do. Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl as well as Big Cartel where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal, what else is life for?